All right. I think thank you again, everyone, for joining. And like from Nextrite and IBM, we have been doing regular webinars for our clients and for our prospects. Today also we have another webinar. The topic for today would be more aligned towards HR operations and the key challenges the HR team faces. With me, I have the IBM team, Philip, who's joining us. He's a technical lead for the business automation portfolio from IBM. He's a domain expert with extensive experience in conversational AI, process automation, decisions and event management, document management, and robotic process automation. He will be helping us in sharing with us the solution from IBM on Watson Orchestrate, how it actually helps our clients and prospects from overcoming the challenges on the newest technology where they use the tools for automating the processes on HR side. Maybe Philip, you could just roll up to the next slide for a quick introduction on Nextrite. So as Nextrite, we are partners with IBM, working since 2010. Most of our client base, and we work across very extensively on automation side. Our focus is more about working with our clients and about trust, innovation, and growth. We don't work about any product or services specific, but with IBM, we have been associated since 2010, as I said, and our focus is more on delivering IBM platforms, IBM solutions to our Australian clients. Wait, next slide, Philip. All right, thanks. So these are the three very high level few of the challenges that I believe all of our HR friends would be able to relate what we have jotted up. We will be talking about all these key challenges, which likely I believe every one of you could resonate. You all feel across the same in your daily routines of HR work, what you do. How a platform from IBM will be able to assist you, how technology will assist you in overcoming such challenges. We would be talking more about on all this topic today in our webinar. So maybe over to you, Philip. You could actually just assist us in presenting further. Thanks for the.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Hope you can hear me. Work. Well, if you don't have work, you're unhappy. If you have too much of it, you're unhappy as well. So what we're trying to do is to help you be more effective at your work, right? And we are going to help you by giving you a virtual assistant. That's what we're trying to do with this particular AI technology, where we are leveraging, some automation and some smarts to understand what it is that you're asking for from the system. What we want is to be able to communicate with the system, just like we talk to anybody else, right? If we have an assistant, what would we do? We wouldn't be clicking on a thing, we'd just be talking to that assistant. Just like in Star Trek, computer, do this, computer, do that. That's ideally what we want. As a human, that's kind of the human experience that we want. And we want this AI to understand what we want and then orchestrate the automation behind our intent. I would like to send this person a welcome letter. I would sign this person up to our corporate program. I would like to reject this candidate, or I would like to send this person a confirmation email and would like to onboard him. So having this intent is extremely important. And the ability to understand that intent, right? So you ideally want to talk to your systems, talk to the HR programs and the automation that you already have in place, and then it needs to translate that in actual automation steps behind the scenes. And you want it to be able to ask you things as well, right? Because you're not always going to be able to ask a perfect question. It should be able to ask for clarification questions back to you, so you can have a back and forward conversation between the AI and you. And you want it to be able to know everything. So when you connect it to your backend system, to your HR system, your HR databases, I want to understand what is the leave policy for pregnancy, and what is the leave policy for when I'm sick. How many holidays do I still have left in this year? So having this self-service ability is really important. And as you connect more data sources to it, it becomes smarter and smarter and smarter. So it's able to do that using a set of what we call skills. So skills are abilities of the AI. So we as IBM will deliver a set of pre-built skills, right? So we have skills for Oracle HR, Salesforce, PeopleSoft, Outlook, Box, Google Drive. So those are just samples of pre-built skills that we have. And you just need to connect them to your account. So you just log in and then give us access, and we'll be able to use that skill on your behalf. But then again, there might also be applications that you've built yourself, right? In that case, we could actually import those applications that you already have built yourself through the use of APIs, right? So APIs are integration points to those backend systems, and we can then import that link. Because an API is simply a link. We can import that link into our application, and we can tell the AI to start learning and understanding how that API works. So the next time you say, hey, sign up that client to that new product that we have in our database, it understands that and it understands the intent. It will connect you to the right service. So in a nutshell, Watson Orchestrate, our conversational AI, is a layer. It's a translation layer between the human command and your backend systems. You're orchestrating your enterprise through talking to it. That's basically what Watson does. So is this replacing any applications? Not really. It's not going to replace any applications. What it is, it's sitting as a sidebar, an assistant, a co-pilot, any of those synonyms, because you already have applications. You already have an HR page. You might already have Workday. You might already have PeopleSoft, right? You might already have Siebel or one of those applications. But you're using all of them. You're clicking here, you're clicking there, you're doing copy paste between multiple applications, and you need to find stuff in multiple applications, right? And that takes time. Well, you think, okay, well, it might take me 10 minutes longer because I need to get it from here, look it up over there, and then post it over there, and then also post it over there. In total, it takes me roughly 50 minutes, but you have to do this multiple times a day. You might have to do this 50 times a day, 100 times a day. Right? And then that adds up. All these repetitive administrative tasks that don't add any value, they add up to your daily workload. You could use the time to do something much more valuable, right? So that's where this virtual assistant comes in, because it can also string things together. If you say onboard this candidate, it can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things in order to make those actions happen. So you can string things together. And the way you converse to it is simply by using a chatbot. So this is your private chatbot that understands your language and that understands your corporation's language, right? And you don't need to be technical at all in order to know how it works, because you just talk to it like you would talk to almost a human being, right? So you can type anything you want, but you can also, of course, press some of the buttons at the bottom that give you some, often used tasks, right? And even building those skills, you'll see later, it doesn't take a lot of technical skills to build and integrate those skills for you. Okay? And as you get smarter and smarter, as you add more skills, as you start using the system, it will actually start picking up nuances and learning from previous experience, and they get smarter and smarter and smarter. So it starts to grow with you as you grow yourself as well. Now, we spoke about HR, we spoke about talent acquisition and then onboarding, but it can do much more, right? It's the sky's the limit, basically. It can also help you maybe with other tasks, help you with procurement, managing contracts. It can help you with some of the sales processes and provide you with reports, or look at, which were my 10 most performing customers in the last month. Show me the list of those customers, and then send those customers an email saying thank you for your services, right? So you can, anything that requires a lot of manual tasks for you right now and it's relatively repetitive, is something that's a great candidate for automation using this particular tool set. Okay, so let's have a look at actually what it looks in real life. Okay, all right. So I'm going to do a demo here where we're going to a couple of HR scenarios, right? And over here, we have the main chat window. You can just type to it, say, oh, well, what can you do? What are some of the things that you have pre-built skills for? And say, okay, here are the tasks I can do for you. I want to hire, or I want to send out a job requisition. Well, it so happens to be I want to hire 10 people. I want to hire 10 full stack developers. And can you suggest me the job description from some existing job descriptions that we have in our system? Okay, so you typed it in, and then start looking at the actual commands and the command database, and said, hey, you're looking for developers. What type of developers? UX developers and full stack developers. You mentioned Austin. Is that really the case? Let me show you a drop-down menu. So it gives you feedback. As you start typing it in, it can actually show you feedback screens that allows you to add a bit more detail to your request. All right, you say, I'm confirming that that's the case that I want to hire. It looks and goes to the database and say, hey, here are some similar job descriptions that we used in the past. Which one would you like? Okay, well, let's think 1239, 1240. That one looks pretty close to what it is that I'm looking for. Let me pick that one from the existing list. Okay, I'm going to pick that one. And while I was doing things, it now copies that description into this particular form, full stack developer, and it gives you a sample of the actual description for that task. And now you have the opportunity to maybe to adjust it, if you don't really like the boilerplate text. But if you're happy with it, you can then submit it, and that request will then be created for you. Now, as doing things, you can actually do things in parallel, right? Maybe after you send this, I want to know something else. Show me a list of online courses for product management for this week, right? And that will go to another data set that has the actual online courses. In this case, hey, there's like 5 courses. I might be interested in joining one of those courses. I might be assigning a candidate to one of those courses, right? But when I go back to my previous job, hey, I can actually submit that one now, that job request for approval, right? So you can do things in parallel. You can do things in between as you perform or wait for an answer. And in this case, I've submitted that job request for approval. Now, this might take a while because somebody else has to actually approve that job request. And then I can do something else. I can say schedule a WebEx meeting with the procurement team. So in this case, I can schedule a WebEx meeting. I want to say Wednesday 10 to 11. Okay, so that's the job that I have. And procurement team, okay, well, who is in the procurement team? The system happen to know who's in the procurement team, so it shows me the list of the people inside the procurement team, right? I can see John is in that meeting, into that team, and Dan and Eric are in the procurement team. Now I need to confirm or speak to people, or maybe, it's deselect one, but then let me now schedule the meeting. I'm going to schedule the meeting with those 3 people, and it has looked into the calendar, and it actually has put in a calendar invite to those people inside the procurement team. Okay, so I can do that in between my primary task, which was creating that job requisition. Okay, so now when it comes to the job requisition, I can also see that something has come back. So my manager in the meantime has approved the actual job requisition. I can see it in my screen. Full stack developer number 478, status is now being approved. Okay, so now that it's been approved, I can post that job listing. I want to post it on LinkedIn. And it just asks me, and then again for confirmation, is it really the text? You want to change it for LinkedIn? But no, it all look good. Let me apply, and now it goes away and puts it on LinkedIn. I don't need to log in to LinkedIn, don't need to open LinkedIn. I don't need to create the forms in LinkedIn again. It's been done in LinkedIn. Okay. Now, as you can see, the system's also smart enough to maybe suggest you new activities that you could perform next, right? And one of them could be the internal job posting. Now, internal job posting, well, maybe I'm not going to do that. I want to post it on another website. I want to post it on Indeed. Now it comes back saying, hey, I don't understand this skill. Nobody has configured me to do anything with Indeed. Maybe you want to add a new skill that actually performs an action. All right. So now I'm going to now put my different hat on. I'm going to be a skill developer. So this is no longer the end user, but this is somebody who can actually create new skills. Okay, so now I'm in the designer interface. We're going to add new skills to my vocabulary. And there's a couple of sources I can pick from my apps that I have already connected to my system. So these are software robots that I can pick from, or I can pick from a file, which is an API description that I can import. Okay, in this case, I'm going to click one of those. If I had UiPath, I can enter the connection information here, client ID, and a user ID. So that provides the connections to that particular system. Those are just passwords, basically, right? So once I have the connectivity set up, I can now browse what's inside that application. So inside that software robot, there are 3 tasks defined: post, screen candidates, and get candidate details. I can select the task that I would like to add to my vocabulary. In this case, I'm going to pick the first one, post job to Indeed. That's a short description of that as well. Okay, and let me save that as a draft. Now I can see that the import of the skill has been successful, but I'm not done yet. I also need to enrich that skill. I need to actually confirm the language that's being used to call that specific skill. Okay, so I can see that on the right-hand side, skill details, a picture, if I want to use one. And over here, I have the details of the name, security, but what's more important is the utterances. So these are the prompts, basically. So these are some sample prompts that are used to trigger that specific task. But I can also add new ones or generate more test utterances that can be used to kick off this specific skill. So now the AI is looking at the description. It's looking at the title of the service, and it's going to suggest some synonyms. I want to post. I want to post. Hi, I want to post. Would you be happy? I posted. I want to post. So you can see there's a lot of language models in here that are now being used to kick off the skill. So I can then delete the ones I don't like, or can also manually add the ones that I think that the system has missed. So once I'm happy with it, I can publish that skill then to the catalog. Post. Now you can see it's been published. I can go back to my chat window. I can retrieve that previous job requisition. Okay, I want to do the post job description with that number and post it on Indeed. The preview again, and then I press submit, and now it's being posted on Indeed. You see how easy it was to add a new custom skill to the library. You don't really need any technical skills in order to do that. You just need to know the link or the password to that service. You can browse it and then import it in. Okay. So what do we want to do next, right? Because I might have candidates responding to that job description. So I want to show me all the candidates that have responded to that job requisition. And now here I have 5 candidates that have responded. Okay, so here, so here are the 5 types of job descriptions. And now it's going to show me the candidates. Yep, I see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here are some the scores of the likelihood that this candidate is matching the job description. So you can see here the first 3 have the highest score. So what happened in the background, AI matched their response to the actual job description, and did a scan to say, hey, we were looking for a full stack developer, and we need to have Java skills, SQL Server skills, and then it matches that to the response of that candidate, and assigns a score to how much overlap, how much what the hit rate is, basically. So we like the first 3 candidates, and we're going to select those 3 candidates for follow-up. Okay. And we want to email those candidates. So those are some of the suggested actions that we can choose from. We can email those candidates via our Outlook system. And we want to then tell them that we want to discuss this opportunity for them. Okay, I think you are a great fit, and has pre-populated the title and also pre-populated the email addresses of those candidates over here. And I can simply submit that action, right? You can imagine what we normally do. You have to open your Outlook, you got to copy, and you got to copy paste, and you got to do the 3 times for each of those candidates. That really takes a few minutes. Okay. So next, so let me save this. I want to show the candidates for that job application, and maybe I had a conversation with them already. I want to perform the next action. Okay, so a couple of days have passed. Let me retrieve those candidates again. And now, after I spoke to them over the phone, I want to schedule some interviews. Okay. So now the system goes to my Outlook calendar and actually going to look at some suitable times that I'll be able to talk to these people. And these are the 3 candidates, Rebecca, John, and Dan. And then I schedule those interviews for me on the 20th of April from 10 to 11, the next from 11 to 12, and the next day from 3 to 4 p.m. So it's done this automatically without me needing to open Outlook again. All right. So let me show those candidates again, the first 3. So I have scheduled interviews with them. And then, I've conducted those interviews. And I go like, yeah, I'm quite happy with those all 3 candidates. I want to move them to the next stage, which is an offer stage. Okay. The system knows in what stage the candidates are right now. That's why I said, hey, I want to move them to the offer stage. And then I want to send them an email via Outlook confirming that I'm going to, that they've been moved to the offer stage. So congratulations. Thanks for participating in the selection process. You've been selected for that position. And I will connect with you later to explain the details of the offer. Excellent. So now it's been sent to those candidates. And those candidates basically have been hired. Okay. So as you can imagine, having this virtual assistant saves you a lot of time, right? Because how do we traditionally build applications or build actions? We have to build screens. We have to build screens and applications and websites. And that takes up a lot of time. Because the problem with the screens is that they are static. They can't, they cannot be adjusted for every single situation that we have, right? We always have a different situation. Each client is in a different mode or a different phase. And sometimes those screens don't fit with what we do. We have to perform multiple actions in order to do that. So instead of building screens after screen after screens, we have now the ability to just tell the computer a certain outcome that we desire, and then it will actually automate that and connect to the right service to fulfill that outcome. So it's quite a different way of expanding the capabilities of your existing platform, right? And when we implement the solution with some of our clients, we're seeing significant increase in productivity. You can see there's 85% reduction in the time spent with administrative processes to support, HR. So that is quite a lot of time, and especially when you have, dozens of people working here. Those are thousands of hours saved every year on manual tasks. Okay, so in summary, Watson Orchestrate, virtual assistants, taking care of your repetitive, manual tasks, resulting in quite significant savings in being more effective and being more productive on a daily basis. Okay. Now, all great and well. How do I get started, right? How do I get started as a small or medium organization? Do I have to do this myself? Where's the solution? How do I get access to it? The solution is a hosted SaaS solution. So hosted SaaS solution is a lot of brain power behind it. So we don't want to put it, onto your into your organization. because as a shared SaaS solution, so you pay for the access to the solution. IBM will take care of hosting everything, and then we can do some workshops with you. We call it rapid prototyping. Have some workshops, build some skills together, integrate some skills together, maybe add some of your own personal skills together to showcase you the value that the system can provide to you. Now, how long does it take? Well, initially we have a couple of hours where we actually go through a workshop, go through some of the scenarios that you want to implement. What are the 10, the 20 steps that you would like to implement? We prep some of the data of the back end, and then we create those skills together. Now, 2 to 4 weeks, can be longer, can be shorter, depending on the scope and how much you actually would like to automate. And then afterwards, we transition it back to you, and you'll be able to be more quite self-sufficient. That's how we can actually help you adopt such a solution into your organization. Okay. All right. Well, that is the end of the fixed agenda. I'm going to be opening the lines up for any questions that you might have. And if you have any questions, let's have a look at the chat as well.